Hello, friends. Every time I see the Buddhist monks walking on the news or in social media, I think I should get in the car and go see them. To be honest, that was before the cold front. In the last few days, I've even wondered whether I should go to Minneapolis. I feel so helpless right now. As strange as it may sound, I've learned from experienced activists that an elder white woman can sometimes provide a degree of protection in situations where people are being abused by authority. And that's definitely not to say that I think I could really go and do anything, but I just know it's true, unfortunately. I've not made any plans, but for now, a small gesture feels appropriate, pausing our regular school episodes for a short session on peace walks. At the time of recording, the east coast of the United States is in the grip of ice, snow, and bitter cold. At the same time, Buddhist monks are walking from Texas to Washington, D.C. along the East Coast for peace. Seeing this, I began thinking about others in history who've made similar sacrifices by walking for peace. This list is not comprehensive, but it is offered in gratitude for those who chose to walk. The archetype of the long walk. History is often written by those who move the fastest, the cavalry, the blitzkrieg, the supersonic jet. But there is a parallel history written at roughly 3 miles per hour. This is the history of peace walkers. They understood a simple truth. You cannot reclaim a landscape with a weapon. You can only reclaim it with presence. Let's begin with the archetype Mahatma Gandhi. In 1930, he walked 240 miles to the sea in what became known as the Salt March. By choosing to walk rather than travel by train or vehicle, he transformed protest into invitation. The slowness was the point. It gave the world time to watch and gave the Indian people time to join. A persistent, unarmed body in motion proved capable of challenging an empire's laws. Following him was Vinoba Bhave, often called the walking saint. Beginning in 1951, Bhave spent more than 13 years walking over 44,000 miles across India. His work centered on the Bhudan or land gift movement. Instead of legislation, he relied on face-to-face persuasion, walking to the homes of landowners and asking them to give a portion of their land to the landless. Over time, he secured more than 4 million acres through conversation rather than force. Radical trust. In the West, this tradition took a different form through Mildred Lisette Norman, known as Peace Pilgrim. From 1953 until 1981, she walked more than 25,000 miles across the United States. She carried no money, no identification, and only what fit in her pockets. Her walk was an experiment in radical trust. She vowed to remain a pilgrim until humanity learned the way of peace, demonstrating that even in a culture defined by accumulation and security, a person could live and lead through vulnerability. The same trust appeared again in 1962 when Satish Kumar began an 8,000-mile walk from India to the nuclear capitals of Moscow, Paris, London, and Washington, D.C. He traveled without money, relying entirely on hospitality. His walk reframed peace not as a treaty between governments, but as a relationship among ordinary people. Reclaiming ethical space. Walking has also been used to make injustice visible. In 1965, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led the 54-mile march from Selma to Montgomery. This was not simply travel. It was the reclaiming of a public road as ethical space. By placing peaceful bodies in the path of systemic violence, the marchers forced a confrontation that words alone could not produce. A year later, Cesar Chavez led a 300-mile pilgrimage from Delano to Sacramento. By calling it a pilgrimage, he joined labor rights with spiritual discipline. Every blister became a form of nonviolent testimony. The monastic sentinel. Perhaps the most dangerous peace walks were led by Preah Maha Ghosananda, often called the Gandhi of Cambodia. In the 1990s, he organized the Dhammayitra Peace Walks through Cambodia, guiding thousands through active minefields and conflict zones as refugees returned to their ancestral lands. His work showed that peace is not the absence of danger, but the willingness to move through it without violence. This monastic lineage continues through figures such as Thich Nhat Hanh, who embedded peace into the practice of walking meditation, and Junsei Terasawa, who has spent decades walking and drumming through conflict zones. It is also carried by veterans such as Claude Ashton Thomas, who walks to address the roots of violence, and Mike Oren, who spent 3 years walking in the United States as a sustained moral witness. The Walk Today. This history is still unfolding. In the bitter cold of early 2026, a group of Theravadan monks is walking from Texas to Washington, D.C. Along the way, thousands have joined them for short stretches. Each evening, they hold talks that are shared live, turning a local road into a global classroom. The cost has been high. In late 2025, a vehicle struck their pilot car in Texas, pushing it into the monks. One monk, Bhante Dham Phomasan, suffered severe injuries and ultimately lost his leg. Their rescue dog, Aloka, also had to leave the trail briefly in South Carolina for orthopedic surgery. Despite this, the walk continues. They're expected to arrive in Washington, D.C. between February 11 and 13. There's still time to walk with them or follow their progress online by searching at Walk for Peace USA. Across cultures and centuries, the Peace Walk remains a durable tool, slow enough for conversation, public enough for visibility, and vulnerable enough, that was Teo, and vulnerable enough to stay human. Or canine, I guess. When historians look back on this era, they will see the tracks that were left behind. I hope you'll join us for the short peace classes in the Peacewarts series. Orientation began in episode 198. We've just completed Universal Understars 101, and tomorrow we begin a new course in the Department of Living Roots. Peace and love, Avis and Teo. Thank you for listening. Did you know that the stuff we buy can contribute to world conflicts? It's true. My new book, Peace Stuff Enough, is out now to help us keep our stuff longer and buy less stuff, because peace starts in our homes. If you'd like to support the Pieces Here podcast, the most helpful way is to follow it wherever you're listening. It helps me share the message with others. You can also support this peace work at my Patreon for about what a used paperback goes for these days. Just go to Patreon at patreon.com/Avis Kalfsbeck. That's AvisKalfsbeek. You can find all of my peace projects and stay in touch at aviskalfsbeck.com. Music is by Javier Peque Rodriguez. Sound effects are from Pixabay. Regarding peace, we need not delay or despair. We are not late. We are right on time to love. We are all scholars of peace. Listen for the peace.